Everyone was away except for Santa Fe. Plus, we talked to the Thunder from down under Ned Ball. Now let's kick off the show. Hello and welcome to the number one show in my mind, The Huddle. I'm Demetrius Wright. Here with me always is Rick Lemon and Dylan Swartz. How you guys doing today?
Doing great today, D. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Great. Feeling better. I've been sick.
It's great to have you back, D.
Thanks you guys for taking care of me because I was out a little bit under the weather.
Anytime.
All right. Let's go on and talk about what's going on with what happened. What happened this week? We had a lot of games. Matter of fact, the preview of what it is, we had a lot to cover this week. We had the 3 away games this week and 1 home game. The Broncos traveled to Nebraska to take on the Lopers. The Bulldogs went to Yukon to take on the Millers, and the Huskies took on the Lions and more. While the Wolves were at home against the Jaguars, we even have a sit-down interview with the punter from UCO. All right, so let's get to the show. First up, Central Oklahoma. And it was a long way from home. They took on UNK, which is 8 hours away. Now, Dylan, what do you got for us?
Well, they went up to Nebraska Kearney looking to bounce back off suffering their first loss in the season last week. They had all their offensive starters who were hurt last week back for this one, so they're looking to get back for the win. Let's take a look at the highlights.
UCO looking to bounce back off last week's loss to Northwest Missouri State. Marquez Clark would take this opening kickoff past midfield, past the 30. He could go all the way down to the 5-yard line. 2 plays later, Chas Stollard calling on himself on the rollout, calling his own number, diving into the end zone for their first score of the game. The first score of many, that is. Jake Gander would get involved there for the touchdown run. The defense would also get involved when Cody Jones jumps the ball over here in the flats. For his 4th interception on the year, he could take this one all the way to the house, and he does. Nobody in sight. Cody Jones with his 2nd pick 6 on the year. What an unbelievable season he is having. Marquez Clark would get involved in the offensive game as well on the double reverse into round, looking to be untouched as he tiptoes on into the end zone. The offense was not done yet as another good drive getting into Nebraska Kearney territory. Clay McKenzie bouncing it out to the left side into the end zone. 49-0 would be the final in this one as UCO would bounce back for another win on the season.
There you have it, guys. A great team win. They had all their starters back. Offense looked great again. Chas Stollard and Jake Gander at 24/7 attack going. Defense forced 6 turnovers, I mean. So I think that was overall just a great win. Cody Jones got another pick. I mean, he's on his way to having an All-American season. So just a great job not even letting Nebraska Kearney hang around in this one.
You know, for me, I was glad to see the starters back because with the starters being gone, it was very difficult for them to play. That was a big key to everything. So with the starters being back and injuries, it was a great win. They looked good.
Yeah, like you guys have been saying, having not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 offensive starters back this week made a huge difference on the consistency and the way that they could really move the ball. Plus, the defense has been lights out all year, and they put together one complete game this week.
Absolutely. Like I said, Jones with another pick 6 on the year. I mean, puts 4 total in 5 games for that guy. I mean, you can't ask for enough for what he's been doing along with the whole defense.
Right. Defense has stepped up. Okay. When we come back, we will show you the high school games, Memorial, North, and Santa Fe, right after this. Coming up next, all the high school action from last week.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Acceptable? Yes, now there are more items you can place in your Edmund recycling bin, like newspapers, magazines, phone books, and junk mail. Edmund recycles. It's what we do. Changing your view is what we want to do.
Welcome back to your favorite football show, The Huddle. Next up, we have our high school highlights from last week. Game started with Edmond Memorial and UConn. And what did you guys think about it? I'm sorry, I got a little choked up there. What did you guys think about it?
Well, Memorial came into this one still ranked in the top 10 in the state in 6A, so they were looking to keep it that way, and they had to play good.
And
What about you?
Memorial's had a great defense all season. They're always flying to the ball. It's their offense that needed to find consistency and really move the ball. And let's see if they actually were able to do it in Friday night.
Friday night football action with the UConn Millers versus the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs. Memorial riding high after winning the city championship last week. We pick up the action in the second half after both teams scored one touchdown in the first, making it 7-7. Warren picking up where he left off last week, running in on the ground, making it 14-7 Memorial. If you've watched any tape on this guy, though, you know that Wand isn't a single threat running back. He darts down the sidelines and Mick Mayerski throws him a perfect pass, and he is absolutely off to the races. Safeties try to catch him, but no, he's in for the touchdown. Makes it 20-7. Unfortunately, Memorial missed their extra point. We'll see if that comes back to bite them later in the game. UConn showing off a little bit of an aerial drive of their own, and the comeback is on. It's 20-14 UConn. UConn fans are loving it. They're back in the game, and they're ready to see an upset. With just over a minute and a half left and UConn driving, their quarterback throws out a dart to Bryce Lutz, who goes out within the 10-yard line. They try running the ball in from the goal line once and gets stopped by Memorial. And they try running it again. Quarterback sneak this time gets stopped again. They call a timeout. Coach Meredith trying to coach up his guys for the final goal line drive. And UConn decides to go to the air this time. Big pass from Gordon to DeMarcus Owens makes it 20-20 UConn. The all-important extra point makes it 20-21. They've got the lead with 55 seconds left. UConn High School is going absolutely nuts. The ensuing kickoff, UConn tries to pin them deep and make sure there's not a big return, but they kick it out of bounds. Mick Mayerski and the Bulldogs get the ball at the 35-yard line. Unfortunately, they squander that field position, getting sacked twice in a row. Last chance for the Bulldogs from the 35-yard line. Mayerski looking for the deep pass, has to scramble around past the defensive lineman, throws the ball up, and intercepted by UConn. And that's the dagger. UConn wins the game 21-20. Players rush the field, fans rush the field. Huge win for UConn and a very disappointing loss for Memorial.
Man, that was a game. What a game. That was, unfortunately for Memorial, they lost. Now, what did you guys think? Go with you, Dylan.
Tough loss for Memorial, like you said. I thought Morarsky and Warren Wand played lights out like they always do. The defense played good, but still they fell a little short. Wasn't enough.
Honestly, they've been just the biggest Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sort of story this entire season. Whenever they're good, they're dang good. But whenever they're bad, everything can seem to fall off the rails. And honestly, it's just consistency. They do the running game so well, but if that gets shut down and they can't do that and then follow it with play-action passes, then their offense goes nowhere. It sputters.
Now, for me, the one key element was this: 2 weeks ago, their kicker got hurt. And before this, he was kicking out of the stadium. Now he got hurt, and since then, their kicking game has been a little suspect. I'm just saying it might be something to look at. But before we go on, let's go on to the Moore game.
For Lions, first possession of the game, quarterback Anthony Belton calls his own number, takes the ball into the right side of the line for the 8-yard TD. On their second possession of the game, Jerry Minifield catches the ball 5 yards back, runs inside, stumbles a little bit, and goes outside for the easy TD. In the second quarter, North runs the new version of the Packers sweep with a seal here and a seal there. Antonio Williams scores from 26 yards away. Watch out for that banana. Next time Moore has the ball, they say not so fast. Quarterback Josh Dweckweiler throws to Jordan Jones, who goes down the middle of the field and around the secondary of Huskies to score a 75-yard touchdown. At halftime, it's 21-7. Noah toes, hands off to Minifield, who takes it into the end zone. Later in the third, sophomore Anthony Belton runs the option, but he keeps it himself and he takes it from one side of the field to the other, weaving his way through the flapping arms of the Lions secondary to seal the victory for the Huskies, 42-7. Huskies win in a nail-biter.
All right, there you have it. Edmond North with the huge win, coming back from off the loss. Now, again, Moore had a lot of injuries. North has a lot of injuries. It just happened to be that North had less injuries than Moore.
Yeah, the Huskies were able to take advantage of a struggling Moore team with injuries, and you really want to go into every game with that must-win attitude, but they really needed to win this one. They haven't won a game since their opening upset against Santa Fe, so this was a huge win for them to get them going back in the right direction.
Yeah, you guys talk a lot about the injuries, and there were a lot on both sides of the ball, but I am still impressed with the way North came out, and they were able to grit and grind their way to a very important win. They were able to pounce on this opportunity, and who knows, maybe turn their season around.
All right. Now, last but not least, we have our only home game of the week, which happened to be Santa Fe homecoming. Dylan, what was your thoughts on this one?
Well, Santa Fe going in was going to go up against an undefeated and really talented and athletic Westmore team. So let's get to the highlights and check that one out.
It was homecoming night for the Wolves as they host the Westmore Jaguars, who are undefeated on the season. The Jaguars would strike first on a bubble screen to wide receiver Deshaun. Look out! Did not take long for the Wolves to respond on a couple first-half touchdown runs by Darren Williams, who's having an all-star season thus far. The Wolves had the momentum leading into late in the first half. Westmore would not go down without a fight, though, looking to answer back right before the half. Bronson Lee airing it out down the left sideline where it is picked off by Santa Fe, who clings on to a 14-point lead at the half. Second half action now. Bronson Lee keeps the zone read, heads up the right sideline, jukes a defender, and outruns everybody he could go, diving into the end zone for the touchdown. Santa Fe coaches are in disbelief as they are watching their lead slip away. Bronson Lee airing it out now to Danu Green, who is the Louisville commit. Westmore fans like what they see. Santa Fe would make it interesting to cut the lead within 2 points for Westmore, but Westmore would seal the deal with this touchdown run late in the fourth quarter, and that would be enough. Westmore would hold on to their undefeated record on the season.
Close but no cigar. Westmore spoils homecoming and stays undefeated. Now, that was a good game. That was the best game of the week because it was close. It was back and forth. It was a battle. I'm just hurt that the boys lost.
Well, Santa Fe hung in there as long as they could. They went back and forth, but unfortunately Westmore was just too much for them. I never worry about Santa Fe scoring points, but their defense just can never seem to just get stops when they need to. That's plain and simple.
To me, Santa Fe seems like one of those teams that just has a huge amount of talent, but can lose focus at times during the game. I don't know if it was all the emotion of homecoming or they just seemed tired, but they seemed to just lose focus, and it really came back to bite them this week.
You got to give credit to Westmore, though. Them throwing it up to that 6'6" receiver who's going to Louisville. I mean, that kid is unbelievable. He's hard to stop, so that's tough for them.
All right, coming up after the break, we will get to the special segments that you love after this.
Coming up next, Austin's Players of the Week.
Plenty of room to swing a rope, plenty of heart and plenty of hope. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes sweeping on the rain. Oklahoma every night, my honey lemon eye. Sit alone and talk and watch ya hop. Crazy circles in the sky. We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. And when we say, we're only saying, you're doing fine, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. O-K-L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma. Okay.
Oklahoma, come see for yourself.
So who's going to do what? I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
All right, we have Rick's hit sticks. Those are the biggest hits of the weeks. So, what do you got for us?
Well, we got a great top 5 for you this week. It's going to be some big hits, maybe some you don't expect, and it's coming up right here.
Number 5 on hit sticks this week, North Huskies versus Moore Lions. Moore Lions quarterback Josh Detweiler goes back for the pass Thursday after Jordan Jones goes streaking up the sidelines so Carl Randolph lays him out. Number 4, we have Santa Fe versus Westmore. Westmore quarterback Bryson Lee tries to scramble out of the pocket and gets crushed by Cameron Gonzacki and Ken Harris. Number 3, we go back to Watland Stadium in North versus Moore. North quarterback Noah 2 sees the pressure right off the bat, tries to get out of the way, but no dice. Number 2 on hit sticks, we go back to Santa Fe and Westmore. Westmore quarterback Bryson Lee running out of the pocket and laying the lumber down on Zeke Jenkins. And number 1 hit stick of the week, we got UCO versus University of Nebraska-Kearney. Lopers trying to throw the ball out over the middle with a slant pass, and Matt Pruitt lays him out like a sack of potatoes. And there's your top 5 hit sticks of the week.
Ooh, man, those were some big hits. Now, my favorite, personally, was when the quarterback knocked the linebacker out. I kind of like that. What you got?
I tell you what, there's been a lot of quarterbacks doing it this year. I don't know who's teaching them how to run, why they're not learning the whole baseball slide to try and save your body, but for some reason, they're just not getting it down.
They're watching some of these NFL quarterbacks, apparently.
Big boys. Okay, let's move on to the dimes. Now, see, these are the quarterbacks that can throw across the middle and throw it deep and just drop it ever so gently. What you got?
Well, we had some good ones this week, D. I'll tell you what, especially by our high school quarterbacks. Let's take a look at those.
On your Dylan Dimes of the week, we have Edmond Santa Fe quarterback Keaton Torrey dropping back and zipping one to the left side, finding his receiver who would get a couple extra yards. Back at starting quarterback for your UCO Broncos is Chaz Stollard. Chaz Stollard off the play fake will get flushed out of the pocket, rolling to his left, dumping it off to Caden Locke, who would pick up the first down. A very tough throw to make on a third down, rolling to your left. Then we have Keaton Torrey again, throwing it to the right side in the end zone for the touchdown. Great ball by Torrey there. We have your visiting Westmore Jaguars quarterback Bronson Lee, who drops back, stepping up into the pocket, looks to run, pulls up, throwing a touchdown pass to Donu Green over the Santa Fe safety. And of course, we have your dime of the week. We got Mick Morersky on the play action fake against UConn, throwing it up the right sideline, finding Warren Wan, who looks like he's going to outrun everybody. Looks like he might go down at the 5, but fights it off. And there are your Dylan Dimes of the week.
Now, for me, I love that little Warren Wan kid. He's about 2 feet tall, but that boy can catch, he can run, he can hit. I like that last one. What you got?
Yeah, my personal favorite, I truly like that last one from Morersky, throwing to Wan. I mean, those guys have the timing down, and especially mid-season form now, they're really starting to show it off.
I mean, you guys, I think we're all working on the same wavelength there. You talked during the Santa Fe segment about how Darren Williams is having an all-star season. How about Warren Wan? He's putting together one of his own over across 15th Street.
Absolutely.
All right, now it's time for a personal favorite time of the show, when I get to sit down with one of our UCO football players or anybody, and this week it happens to be one more of the colorful players. Now, Ned Baum, you know what? I'll just let you take a look. Hi, welcome to a special edition of the Huddle. I'm Demetrius Wright, and I'm interviewing this week Ned Baum, putter for UCO. How you doing, Ned?
I'm doing great, D. Pleasure to be here.
Good. I'm glad to have you. Thank you for stopping by and sitting down with us.
Hey, anytime, anytime.
Okay. So I noticed there's a little accent there.
There's a little bit of one. It's actually gotten stronger.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're not originally from Oklahoma?
No, first time. We've been here about a year now, born and bred Australian. Moved here from the West Coast about a year ago now. So unfortunately for me, I'm like a big walking stereotype, and then I'm from the beach, and I have long hair, and I wear flip-flops everywhere. My mum did own a kangaroo, and there's a park down the road from my house which has about 80 of them just chilling most days. So I mean, it's nice. I mean, every now and again there are some questions. Like a friend of mine on the team, I won't name names, but he asked me, he says like, so Ned, so like, how long have you been speaking English for? And it's like, since birth. I guess that's the answer. Can't name names, but yes, I mean.
What's it like being a player from another country, but also you're learning another sport and going to school here? It's a whole different world.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, college athletics isn't a big thing back home, so just seeing that is pretty mind-blowing. But you're pretty kind telling me that I'm learning a new sport. I mean, you said I'm a punter. I kick the ball about 6 or 7 times a game, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't change it.
How is it being as a punter? Because I'm sure you grew up playing rugby, correct?
Rugby and Australian football, they're similar, but it's a lot of kicking involved. So I've been doing that since I was 5, so it's just kind of makes sense.
How does that play into punting?
Oh, it's just a comfort level. I feel comfortable with the ball in my hands, getting ready to kick it. I don't really feel too fazed by big 250-pound people trying to run into me as I kick, because I've been doing it for a while now. My dad played professionally for 15 years, Australian football, so he taught me everything I need to know about kicking, so I feel pretty comfortable doing it.
Is that the only time that you really pay attention to games? Like, oh, I got to punt, I'm going to change field position, or are you one of those vocal?
I get a lot of weird looks. I'm probably the most vocal punter you will ever see. There's a bit of footage on Huddle, on the highlights website for when we check out game tape, and we make a big play, and then you can see me just in the background on the sideline whipping hair around and getting hyped for everybody. I feel like I'm on the field only 6 or 7 times a game. I feel like I can at least help the game.
Last year to this year, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Big difference. So how do you see the difference?
Just, well, with like internally speaking, inside the football program,
Yeah.
it's just the people we have. It's blue collared, it's hard working. There's no middle ground. We either work hard and win, or we work hard and lose. It just them's the breaks. It just happens. It happens sometimes, but the mentality is there. People just work hard every single day, and we believe. Like I'll say, I'll make no bones about it. I believe in this football team. But there's nothing we can't achieve this year. And there are people who say that you can't go from 2-0 to a national champion or anything like that. Auburn football went from 3-10 to the national title in 1 year. Why can't we do that? Well, there's no reason we can't do that. I mean, and outside the program, just the fan support has been incredible this year, and it's a lot of student initiative. Like, there was a great turnout for our first home game. We hadn't played a home game yet, and it's up to us to keep putting a product out there on the field that makes people want to come back. So we just got to keep winning. And like I said, I think we can definitely do that. And it's just going to make the campus environment better. If once athletics becomes a really big part of this school is going to flourish immensely. And I think we're doing that at the moment. And our wrestling's always good. Our volleyball's off to a great start. Football's off to a great start. And we're just going to try and keep the ball rolling and make the experience for every student on campus that much bit better.
I'm Demetrius Wright. Thank you for watching our special interview with Ned Baum. You're watching The Huddle.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
All right, welcome back to the Huddle. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming games. Now, we are halfway through the season, guys, so now how's everybody doing so far on their picks and graphics and everything going on that way?
Well, me and Rick are 500, I think, from what I understand.
7-7 so far, but we're going to pick it up here in the second half.
Austin's been our main guy so far this year. He's kicking everybody's butt, 9-5 overall.
He's got more time to check out those stats.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, now these are games that are coming up next week. UCO versus Missouri Southern State, Memorial versus Putnam City, Santa Fe versus UConn, North versus Putnam City North. Okay.
Who wants to start it?
All right, here we go. Rick, well, that's Rick. You're Austin. Austin, thanks for joining us, too, because you've been slacking. You've been away, but I'm glad you're back, and thank you for taking care of me. Okay, here we go. Austin, start us off. What's your predictions?
Well, first off, UCO's still playing well. Missouri Southern, they're an okay team, not great. I think UCO defeats them. I got Memorial over PCO. Putnam City's not that good right now. Santa Fe, I got them beating UConn. UConn, you know, they've had some good wins, but then some questionable losses as well. I think Santa Fe takes them. And then I'm going with Edmond North over PC North. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I think North comes out and rides the momentum from their last victory and takes it.
Well, I'm gonna agree with Austin. Besides, I think Santa Fe is gonna lose to UConn. I think UConn's riding that train a little bit from beating a pretty good Memorial team, so I think they're gonna go ahead and beat them.
I've got almost the same picks as you guys. I got UCO beating Missouri Southern. They might get tripped up a little bit by that triple option offense, but we have enough defensive linemen that are playing well enough that I think they're going to win. I have Memorial coming back strong against PCO. Like Austin said, they're not that strong this year. Santa Fe over UConn. UConn's a fairly good team, but I think Santa Fe's got more air threats to be able to pass the ball and be able to go over UConn's front seven. And then I have Edmond North over PC North. I think that this is going to be a real turning point last week in their season.
Okay, for me, I'm changing it up a little bit. I think the UCO game is going to be a close one, but the defense is going to be able to handle that option, so I'm going with UCO on that game. Memorial will be able to take over PCO. Now, Santa Fe and UConn, I really think this is going to be the game of the week, and it's going to be really close. But I'm taking Santa Fe. And PC North, Edmond North, I hate to do it, but I'm taking PC North because I don't think Edmond North, their injuries, I think their injuries are going to take them out.
You're the only one taking PC North, and I'm the only one taking UConn. Nice. So we're the wild card.
We're the wild card. That's what it is this week.
Hey, going by Austin's record, I'm just going to follow him along.
Dude, just listen to me.
Earn a couple wins
I'll
back,
guide you to victory.
All right. That's all the time we have for this week's episode of The Huddle. I'm Demetrius Wright.
I'm Rick Lemon.
I'm Dylan Swartz.
Austin Littrell.
Thanks for tuning in. Catch us next time on The Huddle.